Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good afternoon, good day, good morning from wherever you are tuning in to listen to this podcast today. My name is Deon, and this is yet again another episode of Not Yet Mature. Welcome to today's show. Today we will be speaking about a very, very interesting topic. The topic that usually confuses us. The world has got this crazy, stupid way of telling us, please give us your input and opinion, your feedback. And they usually present to us that input and opinion is exactly the same, and it is the same as we classified under the term feedback. Now today, I want to speak about that lie, first of all, and I want to tell you that there is in fact a difference between your input and your opinion. And I want to talk about not only the differences between the two, but how both should be used in a corporate environment, in a sales structure, in a management structure, because I'm looking this from a point of view, especially, you pitch up to meetings, whether it's on Zoom, whether it's live, you go on a Monday, oh my goodness, I've got my management meeting coming up, and today we'll reach the point where feedback is asked and given, and automatically we think that includes our input and opinion as one. Now there is a danger in not knowing the difference, that there is in fact a difference between input and opinion. And I will speak about the dangers very soon, but let's just break it down a couple of seconds. Okay, let's just look over the following. There is an importance of knowing what you know. It might sound like a cliche, but it is very important to know what you know. And the same importance carry through that there is an importance of knowing what you don't know, and you need to own up to it. You need to understand why what you have been hired or appointed to do. You need to ask yourself, why have I been appointed to do this or hired to do this? And what for? The why and the what. You need to take accountability and responsibility in the field that you've been hired into to do it. You need to stay on top of your game, be the best that you are, and you need to be able to weigh out options and risks, and you need to understand that you are the expert in what you do. All of the above that I mentioned, the importance of knowing what you do, the importance of knowing what you know, and the importance of knowing what you don't know and owning up to that. Understanding why and what you've been hired to do or appointed to do. Being in the position that you understand that you need to take accountability and responsibility in a field, staying on top of your game, weighing out the options and risks, being the expert. All of this entitles you to deliver an input and not an opinion. This means that you are in the position to give valuable, expert, advice, valuable expert feedback on what needs to happen or what happened and why. So this entitles you to the input and not the opinion. So what is the difference? You see, with input, you should expect others to listen, to act, and to adhere. So if it's your time to speak and you are the sales director and you're talking sales and you give your feedback, or in this case your input, you should expect others to listen to what you have to say, to act upon what you are saying, the instruction, and to adhere to your recommendation. You see why this is not an opinion? Because this is what you've been hired to do. You've done the research, you know exactly why you are there, what you know, what you don't know, and this is your key skill sets that you're moving towards. So the feedback that you're giving is input. It's not opinion, it's facts. Now, it might mean that you are giving facts that, can be proven wrong. That's not what we're talking about at this stage. It's just simply to come to the awareness that input, you should expect others to listen, to act, and adhere. You still need to implement innovations and own up to mistakes and claim rewards and recognition. That means you will very often find yourself in a space that either you've been proven wrong or you gave an instruction that people adhered to and it failed, and that's fine, because if you take up that accountability, it means that you own up to your mistakes. However, if it succeeds, if there's a massive success in your expert advice, your input, then claim the rewards and recognition. Understand that you need to claim this because this was from your hand. But on the other hand, if it doesn't work, you need to understand that you don't just, it's because of this or because of this or because of this. Even though the because of might be known factors, it means that you still need to take accountability in that action. It means that you need to be confident. So you might ask yourself, Deon, what are you saying? Does this mean, we should not give opinion, we should only give input, meaning we should only open our mouths in the circumstances, in the waters that we clearly know of, because, you opened up this statement saying that the importance is knowing what you know and knowing what you don't know, and then weighing out the options and risks, being the expert, taking accountability and responsibility. So sure, yes, I'm in sales, I'm a sales director, so when they talk sales, I can give my input, that's my feedback, there's expectation and accountability linked to it. But does that mean when they're talking marketing or finances or anything that I'm not entitled to my opinion? No. Not at all. You see, opinion is out of the waters of your input, so it's usually not in the fields that you are the expert of. It's very important to remember that those 5 or those, the points that I mentioned in the beginning, some of it, for example, I might know something about marketing, but I've not been hired, in the position to give being the marketing director. I've not been hired to be the expert, or I'm not the expert, I just know of. So if I only go on the first point, knowing what you know, knowing what you don't know, that means I know marketing, that entitles me to an input. No. That entitles you to opinion. Because the only time you are entitled to the input is if you check all of the boxes. You know what you know what you don't know. You're understanding why and what you've been appointed to do. You understand that you need to take accountability and responsibility in a field. I'm not responsible for marketing if I'm in sales. You need to stay on top of your game. I constantly need to know what is sales related, how to improve what's out there in the market, understand my competitors, understand my competition, understand in the company how it affects other divisions. I need to be in the position that I weigh out options and risks, because that's what's expected from me. And I need to be the expert. And if I check all of those boxes, it means that I now can give input. Checking one or two or none of the boxes only entitles me to opinion. And as I said, does it mean that I can't give opinion? Hell no. Of course you should give opinion. But what we need to understand is opinion usually subdivides in two main areas, categories, foundations, however you want to see it. And it makes logical sense. As I mentioned it, just think about it. Opinion, which the world classifies as feedback, and that's not feedback. Opinion falls in either asked for or given. Now think about the latest or the last management or managers or just meeting you've attended in your company, whether you attended it or given it. There's usually a feedback session, and then people might address you and saying, hey Deon, what do you think about this? Now then you ask yourself, is this my industry, because then I can give input, or is this not my industry, meaning I don't check all those checkpoints? Then it means they're asking me for my opinion, not for me to tell them how to do their job, to simply give my opinion. That is when they ask for it. Now it's very important to remember they might not always ask, and that doesn't mean you shouldn't give your opinion. Which brings me to the next point, the given opinion. That very simple is when they are talking. Let's say you go around the table, you've given your input on sales, now marketing is speaking, or finance is speaking, or customer relations, or compliance department, doesn't matter what departments you have, but now they are busy speaking, and you think to yourself, okay, I've actually got an interesting opinion based on X, Y, Z. It doesn't matter based on what, but I want to just deliver my opinion on this. It's fine to give an opinion if not asked for. You see, the importance of having opinion are as follows. Whether asked for or simply just given is, number one, it shows that you care. Or it should show that you care. Not that you think that you don't come and deliver an opinion because you think now you're the expert or this is you giving input. You need to understand the difference between input and opinion. And the importance of having an opinion, whether asked for or given, is to show that you care. And that's where the root should start. Number two, it should show that you are involved above your expectations. And that just basically explains what, care means. You are showing your peers, your colleagues, your customers, your clients, your bosses, your C-level execs, your employers or employees, however you want to see that, you are showing them that you are involved above your expectations. You're not only focusing on your boat, but you're focusing on everything company related, or show that you care and you're involved in that opinion for allowing them to grow. Number three, it shows that you value others. Why give an opinion in the first place if you don't value them? And if you give the opinion to break them down, do you value them? It's a question that you need to ask yourself. Number four, you desire growth throughout. You're not only worried about the accountability and responsibility and the weighing of risks and everything on your shoulders in your department, in the what you've been hired for, in your successes, but you're also worried about others growing. You desire growth throughout the company, not only your division or your baby that you look after. Number five, you tend to plant the seed to create the thought of what if. That is the importance of having an opinion. It's just to plant that seed in, the other responsible person or the other person taking accountability, the expert in their field. You're just giving them this 360-degree view of what if. It's very important to understand that there is an importance of having an opinion. But because there's an importance, it means that surely there are dangers of having an opinion. And we see that a lot. We notice that trend in a lot of people. I mean, straight off the bat, you should be able to, either in your career that you are now or previous careers, think about someone that always had something to say, the person that always wanted to lay an egg, as the famous expression goes. And if you can't align it to why you have an opinion and the good thereof, then surely you should be able to align it with the dangers. And I'm not talking about using this to expose others, but use this to align it in your own lives. So what are the dangers of having an opinion? Number one is you feel entitled to have one. You think you should always have an opinion. You think you should always have something to say. And very often, if you think about it, you always maybe want to, but sometimes you're not entitled to have an opinion. I'm not entitled to tell marketing or to tell finances or to tell compliance what they do if I'm in sales, and vice versa. They may be asking me for my opinion, or I may be giving it, but I'm not entitled to it. I don't carry their weight. I'm not the expert. I don't know what they know and what they don't know. Another danger is you very often feel that you want to have the final say. It turns out into a debate. It turns out into an argument. It creates frustration. Because I'm entitled to have one, now all of a sudden I feel that I need to have the last say. Once again, this is not my field of expertise. Which leads to creating confusion of ownership or accountability. So you having the last say, so who's actually in charge of that? Who's going to be accountable for that? Who's going to see this through? Because if my opinion creates confusion of ownership or accountability, then that opinion should never have been given. Whether asked for or just given on my own. Always having an opinion, and this is the most common one, we tend to focus on the wrong department or topic. Meeting ends. Now all of a sudden I just want to do research on to prove my opinion and my point and just, attack that person, or, where I could have spent that time to focus on my own department, regardless of how successful it is, to just innovate and improve it more, better. Now all of a sudden I found myself in the position that, no, I just want to focus on, their department, on what they've been hired to do. Now all of a sudden I feel myself in this position that I constantly want to just point fingers and say, yeah, but you didn't think about this, yeah, but you didn't do this, yeah, but I'm not part of them. I don't know what they do on a day-to-day basis. I might have an overview, but I'm not in that position. I don't carry that weight. Then why should I focus on the wrong department? A very common one is we feel offended. That's a danger of giving opinion. We feel offended when other people stop asking, or when I give and people don't listen and they don't act to it. Remember one of my first points that I made is that if you give input, you can expect people to listen. But if you give opinion, you can't expect them to listen and adhere to. You're giving an opinion, you're just planting that seed. They should be the expert, knowing on how they do it, why they do it, are they going to do it? So why take offense to that? This danger zones, and there might be a lot more, can conclude to you lose trust in others. Because you feel your opinion is their instruction, and if they don't do it like that, you feel that they're either not doing their job, or you feel that too many people are weighing out opinions, so that person can't do it in the first place, or are not the expert. That's not your call to make, unless, of course, it is your call to make. So it really is a danger zone of losing trust in others. You see, opinion is understanding that you will not understand it all. Okay? It's understanding that you will either not have it all or understand it all. You are not part of the bigger picture. You are not part of the process. You really need to understand that your input is a must, but so is your opinion. Your input creates a space of authority and ownership. So that means you need to see it through, regardless of the outcome. When contrast, your opinion creates a space for care that should add value to others' input and ownership, not to expose nor to break down, but to build up and assist. You should really see it as a brainstorm session or a brainstorm value. That is the essence of having an opinion, is that you are part of this beautiful responsibility to just add to the brainstorm. But it's not your input. It's not you that needs to see it through. It's not you that needs to carry that weight or accountability or nor be the expert. So understand that you always need to value your input, see it through, have an opinion, whether asked for or simply just given one. But you need to understand the pros and the dangers of having an opinion. You need to see the value that input and opinion, and both of them together might form kind of like a feedback or 360-degree view, as the world calls it. But you need to understand that the sense of seeing it through, implementing it, really looks different. So use your brainstorm sessions well. Take that accountability. Build and uplift each other up. And as always, we'll see you next week on Not Yet Mature.